Okay, so are you ready to talk about Hamster Kombat?
Oh, absolutely.
Because we're going to dive into Hamster Kombat
Yeah.
and its upcoming token launch.
Let's do it.
We've got a ton of sources for this one.
We do.
Articles, price predictions, the whole 9 yards.
Sounds good.
So, like, how many of you out there have been glued to your phones playing this game?
Right. It's like seriously addictive.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Like all those hours tapping the screen could actually mean something soon.
Yeah, that's the hope with this HMSTR token launch.
Exactly.
Yeah.
300 million players. This isn't just a game anymore.
It's a phenomenon.
It really is. But for those who haven't experienced the joy of hamster battles yet,
What have you been doing?
seriously,
Yeah.
can you even, like, explain Hamster Kombat quickly?
So basically, you've got your own little hamster warrior, and you level them up by tapping the screen, and they battle other hamsters. It's surprisingly strategic.
Yeah, it's like deceptively simple, but you get sucked in.
Totally.
But okay, real talk. That airdrop, though, did it live up to the hype for you?
You know, I was hoping for a little more, to be honest.
Same. I mean, don't get me wrong, free tokens are always nice,
Of course.
but I'm not exactly booking that private jet just yet.
Yeah.
So the pressure's on for this token launch.
Yeah, expectations are high, which is why understanding the tokenomics is going to be so important for this one.
Okay, so tokenomics, it sounds kind of intimidating, right?
Yeah, it can be.
But it doesn't have to be. Basically, it's like, imagine a giant pizza.
Okay, I like where this is going.
This pizza represents all the HMSTR tokens that will ever exist.
Oh.
Tokenomics tells us the size of the pizza, how many slices there are, and who gets those slices.
That makes sense. So with HMSTR, how big is our pizza?
We're talking a massive pizza, 100 billion HMSTR tokens to be exact.
Wow, that's a lot of pizza.
Yeah.
Okay, so how do they plan on slicing it up?
This is where it gets interesting, right? Because they're not being shy about rewarding the players.
Ooh.
75% of the initial token supply is dedicated to player rewards.
Wow, 75%. Seriously?
Seriously, they're really emphasizing that this is a game for the players.
So even after the airdrop, they're putting their money where their mouth is, so to speak.
Exactly. And it's spread out over 2 seasons, with those early birds getting a bigger slice.
Smart move. Reward the loyal players.
Exactly. What do you think, listeners? Is this enough to make up for that underwhelming airdrop? Let us know. But okay, we've talked about the player's share. What about the remaining 25% of that giant HMSTR pizza?
Well, that's where the other essential ingredients come in. You've got the team behind the project, of course.
They got to keep the hamster wheel spinning.
Right. Then you've got marketing to get the word out, partnerships to expand their reach, and enough liquidity to ensure smooth trading. It's all about building a sustainable ecosystem around those battling hamsters.
A whole hamster-powered empire.
Exactly. But that player reward allocation, definitely the most striking aspect here. It shows where their priorities lie.
For sure. But will it be enough to make HMSTR the next big thing in crypto gaming? All right, so we've got this massive pizza.
Still think about pizza, huh?
Always. But seriously, we know how those HMSTR tokens are getting sliced up.
Right, the tokenomics.
Exactly. Now comes the big question, the one everyone's thinking about.
Is this going to make us rich?
Okay, maybe not rich.
Lambos for everyone.
Huh. Maybe just Lambo keychain?
Ugh.
But seriously,
Wait.
we all want to know if those hamster battles are going to translate into some actual cash.
That's the dream,
Yeah.
right? Turning your love for gaming into, profits.
Exactly. So no crystal ball here, but you've been looking at the data.
I have.
What's a realistic price range we could be looking at for each MSTR? Especially like right out of the gate after the token launch.
Well, you always have to be cautious in crypto.
Oh, absolutely. Volatility is the name of the game.
Yeah, exactly. But looking at everything, the total supply, you know how much buzz Hamster Kombat is generating, how similar gaming tokens have performed. It's reasonable to think HMSTR could list somewhere between 0.00005 and 0.0001.
Okay, so not quite enough to retire on just yet, but you're hinting that launch day is just the beginning.
Oh, for sure.
It's about what happens after.
It's all about the long game. Remember that huge chunk of tokens dedicated to player rewards?
75%. We were blown away by that.
That tells you they're serious about building a sustainable community.
Not just some pump and dump scheme.
Exactly. They want people to be playing Hamster Kombat for the long haul, using those HMSTR tokens within a thriving ecosystem.
And that's when things get really interesting, right? When we start talking about the potential long-term growth of this thing.
Okay, so we've seen some pretty wild predictions out there.
Wild might be an understatement. Some of these analysts are talking about some serious gains.
Well, let's break it down. In the short term, say 3 to 6 months out, Some analysts think HMSTR could reach 0.05 cents, maybe even $0.10.
Which, let's be real, is still a massive jump from that potential listing price.
Absolutely. But then when we look further out, 6 to 12 months, some of the analyses suggest we could see HMSTR hit $0.55.
Okay, now we're talking some serious returns, but it gets even crazier.
Oh yeah, this is where it gets really interesting. Some long-term forecasts, and we're talking years down the line, mention HMSTR reaching $15, even $20 by 2030.
I mean, I know it sounds insane.
It does.
But if Hamster Kombat keeps growing at this rate, if they play their cards right,
That's a lot of ifs, though.
it is. And that's what we need to unpack, right?
Yeah.
What needs to happen for HMSTR to even come close to those crazy predictions?
Ah.
All right, so we're back, and things are about to get real interesting because we got to talk about the future of Hamster Kombat.
Right. Everyone wants to know if those hamster battles are actually going to translate into, real-world success.
Exactly. And like we said, no crystal balls here,
It's true.
but we can look at the factors that could make or break HMSTR.
Yeah, absolutely, and there are a lot of them.
So factor numero uno, user growth.
It all comes back to those hamsters battling it out, right? 300 million players is incredible.
It's huge.
But for HMSTR to really take off,
They need to keep those players engaged.
exactly. They need to keep those players tapping and battling and coming back for more, especially after that airdrop.
Which, let's be honest, didn't exactly win over everyone.
True, they've got some work to do there.
They do. Here's how to do it. Innovation, right?
That's a big one. Can they keep things fresh? Can they make Hamster Kombat more than just a tapping game? Remember when we were talking about that hamster metaverse?
Oh yeah, that's a whole other level.
Exactly. Imagine if they could pull that off. It wouldn't just be a game anymore.
It'd be an experience.
A whole hamster-powered universe. And that's where strategic partnerships come in.
Oh yeah, imagine if they teamed up with, like, a major gaming studio.
Or a big name in the crypto world. Those kinds of collaborations could be massive for them.
Absolutely. But let's be real. Even with the best game in the world, even with the best tokenomics, the crypto market itself can throw a wrench in the works.
Oh, absolutely. The overall market sentiment plays a huge role. A rising tide lifts all boats, as they say.
But a storm can sink even the sturdiest ship.
Exactly. So, yeah, a lot of factors at play here.
So much to think about. So for our listeners, for those of you ready to jump into the world of Hamster Kombat,
What's the key takeaway here?
don't just follow the hype.
Exactly. Do your research, understand the risks, make informed decisions.
Words to live by. This isn't the end of our Hamster Kombat journey, though. We've got links to all those juicy sources, the price predictions, everything in the show notes.
Go check them out.
And tell us, what do you think? Will Hamster Kombat conquer the crypto gaming world? Or will those hamsters be left searching for a new wheel to spin? We'd love to hear your predictions.
Until next time.
Keep on tapping.